I kind of want to start off with the first question. It's something that I think we discussed, over the pandemic that I had asked you about. And I want to make sure that I have it correct and you can, fill everybody in about it as well. Is something I think that you had said as far as you don't mass vaccinate during a pandemic. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody from understanding disease presentation, you cannot do a vaccine program in the middle of a pandemic. Why? Because if your vaccine, and this just goes straight to the science, it's nothing, there's no debate about it. There's two words we talk about all the time. It's vaccine effectiveness and vaccine efficacy. In the reality, when you do a vaccine and you do not have vaccine effectiveness of 100%, guess what you create? You create mutations. And you look at the Russian Sputnik vaccine, you look at the Chinese Sinopharm vaccine, you different look at all these different platforms in the world where people are trying to create vaccines. If one vaccine is not given 100% effectiveness, you create mutations. What do I mean by that? This is a simple biology. I give you a vaccine. I kill 50% of the population of the viruses in your body. The other 50% sees that. Guess what they're going to do? Just because genetics, evolution, they are going to try to change. They're going to evolve. They become mutations. And so what happens is that when you have a vaccine that does not have 100% effectiveness, doesn't matter what vaccine is. It could be Johnson Johnson, it could be Moderna, Pfizer. We know in real time now that on the average, these vaccine effectiveness of these vaccines maybe get 15%, especially to these new variants from the Omicron family, et cetera. They're not going to get 90% or even 100%. So what happens is I give you the vaccine. It goes in your body.
Hmm.
It kills 50% of the viruses. Well, you got 50% of the viruses. You just created a mutation. Better yet, you are affected with the COVID virus itself. You're sick. You go down there, you get your local vaccine. They inject you with the vaccine. The virus is already in your body, established infection. Who controls the ground? The virus controls the ground. So the virus is going to see that you create mutations. That is why you never do a vaccine program in the middle of a pandemic, because you create what we call resistance. And this is where we're at in today in the scientific world. And this is proof by science. And this is why it's more important when you're trying to get to that word herd immunity, because everybody talks about herd immunity, trying to get immunity for a whole entire society. By definition, in virology and epidemiology, herd immunity is about 90% of the population has immunity through one or two ways. One, everybody gets infected and you get immunity 90% of the population, which confers immunity to the other 10% that doesn't. Or you vaccinate yourself, the society, and you get 90% vaccine effectiveness, which provides 10% of coverage for everybody else. And over time, people get better, or the population continues to work, and these people will naturally get immunity. But at the end of the day, the reality is that you never ever get herd immunity. The only way you ever get herd immunity in any society is through natural immunity. We can look at examples of people living in the jungles of Peru or the jungles of Thailand, or they're infected with dengue fever, which is always consistently in the population. The virus is endemic, which means the virus is there 100% of the time. It's not going anywhere. Guess what? How can you do a vaccine effectiveness program using a vaccine to get herd immunity when the virus is already there? You're never ever going to reach that milestone. And this is the problem that we heard on that basis, on understanding what herd immunity, and you never ever do a vaccine in the middle of a pandemic.
Thank you for that, doctor. And actually, that kind of leads into the second question that I had brought up to you is, something I was discussing on